Tapos na tayo sa Chapter 1, Part 1 ng ating lesson. Ngayon ay tatalakayin natin ang Chapter 1, Part 2 ng Introduction to Interaction Design. Halika't matuto tayo sa araw na ito. Ngayon alamin natin kung ano si User Experience o kung tawagin ay UX. According to Jacob Nielsen and Don Norman, 2014, ang user experience daw ay all aspects of the end users. Interaction with the company, its services, and its products. According to naman kay Jess Garrett 2010, page 10. Every product that is used by someone has a user experience: newspapers, ketchup bottles, reclining armchairs, cardigan sweaters. More specifically, it is about how people feel about a product and their pleasure and satisfaction when using it, looking at it, holding it, and opening or closing it. It is important to point out that one cannot design a user experience, only design for a user experience. You can't really design a sensual experience itself, you can only create elements that might bring it to life. The outer case of a smartphone can be made smooth and silky, fitting comfortably in your hand. When you hold it, touch it, or look at it, it can create a pleasing and enjoyable experience. If it's made to be heavy and hard to hold, it will probably lead to a bad experience, one that's uncomfortable and not enjoyable. Designers sometimes refer to UX as UXD. According to Alan Wood and Beer 2014, the addition of the D to UX is meant to encourage design thinking that focuses on the quality of the user experience rather than on the set of design methods to use. As Don Norman of 2004 said, for many years, it is not enough that we build products that function, that are understandable and usable, we also need to build joy and excitement, pleasure and fun, and yes, beauty to people's lives. Figure 1.6. The iPod Nano Touch. The iPod phenomenon. Apple's classic, and subsequent, generations of portable music players, called iPods, including the iPod Touch, Nano, and Shuffle, released during the early 2000s, were a phenomenal success. Why do you think this occurred? Has there been any other product that has matched this quality of experience? With the exception of the iPod Touch, Apple stopped production of them in 2017, playing music via a smartphone became the norm, superseding the need for a separate device. Apple realized early on that successful interaction design involves creating interactive products that have a quality user experience. The nearest overall user experience that has all of the above is not so much for a product but for a physical store. The design of the Apple Store, as a completely new customer experience for buying technology, has been very successful in how it draws people in and what they do when browsing, discovering, and purchasing goods in the store. The products are laid out in a way to encourage interaction. There are many aspects of the user experience that can be considered and many ways of taking them into account when designing interactive products. Of central importance are the usability, functionality, aesthetics, content, look and feel, and emotional appeal. In addition, Jack Carroll 2004 stresses other wide-reaching aspects, including fun, health, social capital, the social resources that develop and are maintained through social networks, shared values, goals, and norms, and cultural identity, such as age, ethnicity, race, disability, family status, occupation, and education. McCarthy and Wright propose 4 core threads that make up our holistic experiences. The sensual thread. This is concerned with our sensory engagement with a situation, and is similar to the visceral level of Norman's model, the emotional thread. Common examples of emotions that spring to mind are sorrow, anger, joy, and happiness, the compositional thread. This is concerned with the narrative part of an experience, as it unfolds, and the way a person makes sense of it, the spatiotemporal thread. This refers to the space and time in which our experiences take place, and their effect upon those experiences. The process of interaction design involves 4 basic activities. 1. Establishing requirements. Ito ang unang hakbang sa proseso ng disenyo. Sa bahaging ito, kailangang alamin ang mga pangangailangan, layunin, at limitasyon ng mga gumagamit, users, at ng sistema. Kabilang dito ang pagsasagawa ng pananaliksik, survey, panayam, interviews, at pagsusuri ng mga umiiral ng sistema upang matukoy kung ano ang kailangang gawin o pagbutihin. 2. Designing alternatives. Kapag natukoy na ang mga pangangailangan, susunod ang paggawa ng iba't ibang disenyo o solusyon. Sa hakbang na ito, maaaring mag-eksperimento sa iba't ibang paraan upang tugunan ang mga pangangailangan ng mga gumagamit. Ang paglikha ng maraming alternatibo ay nakakatulong upang makahanap ng pinakaangkop at epektibong disenyo. 3. Prototyping. Ang prototype ay isang maagang bersyon o modelo ng disenyo na nagpapakita kung paano ito gagana. Maaaring ito ay simpleng sketch, wireframe, o isang aktwal na interactive na modelo. Ang paggawa ng prototype ay mahalaga upang masuri at maipakita ang disenyo sa mga gumagamit bago ito gawing opisyal na produkto. 4. Evaluating. Sa yugtong ito, sinusuri kung epektibo ang disenyo batay sa karanasan ng mga gumagamit. Isinasagawa ang usability testing, heuristic evaluation, at pangangalap ng feedback upang malaman kung may kailangang baguhin o pagbutihin. Sa pamamagitan ng pagsusuri, maaaring ulitin ang proseso upang gawing mas mahusay ang disenyo bago ito ganap na ilabas o gamitin. Accessibility refers to the extent to which an interactive product is accessible by as many people as possible. That also include with people with disabilities. Accessibility comes in two ways. First, through the inclusive design of technology, and second, through the design of assistive technology. When designing for accessibility, it is essential to understand the types of impairments that can lead to disability, as they come in many forms. 1. Sensory impairment, such as loss of vision or hearing. 2. Physical impairment, having loss of functions to one or more parts of the body, for example, after a stroke or spinal cord injury. 3. Cognitive, for instance, learning impairment or loss of memory cognitive function due to old age or a condition, such as Alzheimer's disease. Within each type is a complex mix of people and capabilities. For example, a person might have only peripheral vision, be colorblind, or have no light perception, and be registered blind. All are forms of visual impairment and all require different design approaches. Color blindness can be overcome by an inclusive design approach. Permanent, for example, long-term wheelchair user. Temporary, such as after an accident or illness. Situational, for instance, a noisy environment means a person can't hear. Now let's define what is usability goals in human-computer interaction. Usability is a measure of how well a specific user in a specific context can use a product designed to achieve defined goal effectively, efficiently, and satisfactorily. Designers usually measure design's usability throughout the development process, from wireframes to the final deliverable, to ensure maximum usability. Usability goals are concerned with how useful and easy it is to use a product or system. When we design a product, we consider usability goals in order to ensure that the product delivers the expected solution to the identified problem. Mayroon tayong 6 na usability goals. 1. Easy to learn, learnability. This goal refers to how easy a system is to learn. When a product is designed, it must be evaluated to see if anyone can easily learn how to use the new product. People encounter different products every day, and how easily one can learn to use a product is an indication of its usability. 2. Safe to use, safety. Digital products must be designed to ensure user safety and security. No harm should come to the user from using the product. User identity and data should be safeguarded to protect them from being misused. Moreover, the safety of a product can also involve ensuring recovery from failure or errors. 3. Effective to use. The effectiveness goal refers to how good a system is at doing what it is supposed to do. This particular goal evaluates the solution that the product provides, as compared to the identified problem. The effectiveness goal ensures that the product solves the problem for which it was designed. 4. Efficient to use. The efficiency goal refers to the way system supports users in carrying out tasks. This goal helps to ensure the product performs the task in a way that minimizes time and other essential resources that may be required. For example, an application designed for transactions must not experience a lot of downtime while processing transactions. 5. Good utility. This goal refers to the extent to which the system provides the correct functionality so that users can do what they need or want to do. The user should never run into any situation where there is no appropriate option to carry out the desired action. An example would be to include back and next options to enable user to navigate to the previous action. 6. Easy to remember how to use, memorability. How easy a system is to remember to use is a key goal in usability. This goal ensures a system can be used over and over again with ease once user has learned to use it, and does not require the user to relearn how to use the product each time. This goal calls for simplicity in design to allow users to build effective recall for the product. A diversity of user experience goals has been articulated in interaction design, which covers a range of emotions and felt experiences. These include desirable and undesirable ones. Desirable aspects are the following: satisfying, helpful, fun; enjoyable, motivating, provocative; engaging, challenging, surprising; pleasurable, enhancing sociability, rewarding; exciting, supporting creativity, emotionally fulfilling; entertaining, cognitively stimulating, and experiencing flow. Undesirable aspects are the following: boring, unpleasant; frustrating, patronizing; making one feel guilty, making one feel stupid; annoying, cutesy; childish, and gimmicky. Design and principles. Ang human-computer interaction ay isang larangan na nag-aaral kung paano nakikipag-ugnayan ang mga tao sa mga computer at iba pang teknolohikal na sistema. Upang makabuo ng mahusay na disenyo ng interface, mayroong 5 mahahalagang design principles na dapat isaalang-alang. 1. Visibility. Ang isang mahusay na disenyo ay dapat gawing malinaw at madaling makita ng gumagamit kung ano ang maaaring gawin sa isang interface. Halimbawa, ang mga buton sa isang website ay dapat may malinaw na label. Halimbawa, Submit o Cancel. Ang cursor ay dapat nagbabago ng anyo kapag ito ay pwedeng i-click o i-drag. Layunin, ang user ay hindi mahihirapan sa paghahanap ng tamang aksyon na dapat gawin. 2. Feedback. Dapat alam ng user kung ano ang nangyayari sa system pagkatapos nilang gawin ang isang aksyon. Halimbawa, kapag pinindot ang i-send button sa isang messaging app, dapat may lumalabas na message sent na notification. Kapag mali ang password na inilagay, may lalabas na incorrect password na mensahe. Layunin, upang ipaalam sa user kung naging matagumpay o may problema sa kanilang ginawa. 3. Constraints. Ito ay mga limitasyon na inilalagay sa disenyo upang maiwasan ang maling paggamit ng system. Halimbawa, sa isang online form, hindi maaaring maglagay ng letra sa field na pangnumerong halaga lamang. Halimbawa, sa phone number, ang isang next buton ay hindi maaaring pindutin hanggat hindi pa napupunan ang lahat ng kinakailangang impormasyon. Layunin, upang maiwasan ang pagkakamali ng user at mapadali ang tamang paggamit ng system. 4. Consistency. Dapat ay mayroong pare-parehong disenyo, estilo, at karanasan sa paggamit ng isang interface. Halimbawa, ang lahat ng buttons sa isang API ay may parehong kulay at hugis. Ang shortcut keys tulad ng control panandang pandagdag C, copy, at control panandang pandagdag E, paste, ay dapat gumana sa iba't ibang applications. Layunin, upang hindi malito ang user, at mas madali nilang matutunan ang system. 5. Affordance. Ang disenyo ng isang bagay ay dapat nagpapakita kung paano ito gamitin nang hindi nangangailangan ng paliwanag. Halimbawa, ang isang door handle ay nakaangat upang malaman ng tao na ito ay dapat hilahin. Ang isang scroll bar ay nagpapahiwatig na maaaring i-drag pataas o pababa upang makita ang ibang bahagi ng page. Layunin, upang gawing mas intuitive ang paggamit ng system na nangangahulugang hindi na kailangang ipaliwanag kung paano ito gamitin.